One of the problems with recruiting for investment banking is not the knowledge or skills you acquire, but the access to talk with real investment bankers to put your best foot forward. Our sponsor, WSO Academy, can provide those connections with 60 head mentors who are finance professionals at top firms like Goldman, Centerview, and JP Morgan. Imagine being able to get on the phone within 24 hours with one of the Academy's 1,300 mentors right before a critical interview. Get on the waitlist for WSO Academy today by clicking the link in the show notes or by visiting wallstreetoasis.com/academy. All right. Welcome to the Investment Banking Insights podcast. My name is Alex Mason, and I am your host. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the show where we're exploring and uncovering both the technical and non-technical aspects of the investment banking process. And we're digging deep into these interview questions. We're going into the accounting questions right now, starting at the basic level, and then we'll work our way through other topics over time. But every episode is a single bite-sized concept that is aimed at helping you understand something new. So today's question is, if I was stranded on a desert island, which one financial statement would I choose? Okay, so what is this question trying to get at? What's the purpose of asking that? Well, I think it's just another question that's trying to ascertain if you, as the potential investment banker, really understand the purposes of what these statements are. And remember, our income statement talks about profitability. Our balance sheet shows the strength of the firm financially and its liquidity levels. And the cash flow statement focuses on movement of cash. So if you really only had to have one, what would it be? And at first, it seems like kind of a hard question, right? Because they're all important, right? They tell you something different. They all connect to each other, but they're all distinctly unique in their own way. And at first, I was kind of thinking it might be the income statement because it shows you profit. And of course, you want a company that's profitable. But really, it's not that. The answer is the cash flow statement. You would choose the cash flow statement as your one financial statement. And why would you choose that? Well, if we think about a business, let's kind of work through process of elimination. So let's say you only had the income statement of a business, and that's all you had to go on. And every year this company reports its financials to you, but they only give you the income statement. And so what would you see? You would see its revenue, you would see important things like its expenses, its level of profit, and that's all great. But what if this corporation has a ton of debt? What if this corporation is issuing shares like crazy? What if this corporation has tons and tons of cash outflows that are not being shown on the income statement? These are critical pieces of information. The business itself could fail even if it's showing a profit to you. So that's a reason why you wouldn't choose the income statement. Now, on the balance sheet side of things, why wouldn't you choose the balance sheet? Well, let's say that a corporation just only showed you their balance sheet year after year or quarter after quarter. Well, this would be great for knowing the firm's cash position, its accrued liabilities, its debt levels, and that's all well and good, but we have no idea how fast this firm is growing. We have no idea what the cash movements of this business are. So a business could be in technically a very strong financial position, but if its cash from operations goes to zero, then that balance sheet, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, yeah, you could burn cash for a certain period of time, but at a certain point, you're going to need to know more information specifically about cash flow. So that's, in my opinion, why the balance sheet doesn't really work as the singular financial statement that you might pick. And then we get to the cash flow statement. The cash flow statement shows the actual movement of cash into and out of the business and can show the overall health of the firm through these different lenses. Remember, the cash flow statement is broken up into three sections. You have your operating cash flows, your investing cash flows, and your financing cash flows. But it all comes down to cash flows. If your business has healthy cash flows, at the end of the day, that's going to be most important in the long term because that drives the value of the firm. The discounted cash flow valuation method of coming up with the value of a business is entirely predicated on projecting cash flows. And that's exactly what you see when you look at the cash flow statement. So that's another way to look at it. And of course, accounting is important. We can think about the income statement, but non-cash items can obscure a lot of things, especially if they're being reported over a short window of time. A lot of these financial statements and numbers that we see on financial statements, remember that they apply just for a specific point in time or for a specific period. In the case of the income statement and the cash flow statement, we're looking at a specific period of time. The balance sheet is usually more of just a snapshot, but a lot of firms show balance sheet information data for at least 2 years. But ultimately, we want to know about cash. Investors, they want to know if future cash flows are going up or going down in the future. And they don't only want to know that, they want to know by how much. What is the magnitude of the direction of these cash flows? So that would be why, if I was stranded on a desert island, I would choose the cash flow statement. This has been Investment Banking Insights. My name is Alex Mason, your host. And next time, we're going to be talking about, well, what if you could just pick 2 financial statements? It changes the analysis a little bit. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.